The sound of sneakers squeaking against the polished hallway echoed like a warning. Emily Carter, a shy, quiet 16-year-old girl with her hair falling into her face, clutched her books tightly to her chest. She hated walking these halls between classes because she knew exactly who would be waiting. "Hey, quiet mouse," a mocking voice rang out. 3 older girls stepped forward, their smirks sharp as knives. Amber, the ringleader, towered above Emily with a cruel gleam in her eyes. They had made Emily their target since the start of the school year. She was smart, polite, never fought back, and that made her the perfect victim. Emily kept her eyes on the floor, praying they'd lose interest. But today was different. Today, they weren't satisfied with name-calling. Amber grabbed her arm. "Come on, little mouse. Let's have some fun." Before Emily could protest, she was being dragged, her books scattering across the floor. Her cries were muffled against the laughter of the bullies as they pulled her into the bathroom. They shoved her against the tiled wall, phones out and recording. "Let's show everyone what happens when the mouse tries to hide," Amber sneered. One girl reached for Emily's backpack, ready to dump everything into the toilet. Emily's eyes welled with tears. She begged them to stop, her voice breaking. But the girls didn't know something they should have feared. Just 2 hallways away, in the school's unused gymnasium, Sergeant Mark Carter, Emily's father, and the leader of the local SWAT team, was running a high-intensity training drill. His men were stacked at the door, practicing entries, shouting commands, moving with precision. The gym thundered with their footsteps. And then Mark heard it. It wasn't loud. To anyone else, it would have been just a faint, desperate cry lost in the hum of the school. But Mark knew that voice. He froze mid-command, every nerve in his body firing at once. His daughter. Without a second thought, he raised his hand, halting the drill. "Hold position," he barked. His men, trained to obey instantly, stopped. Mark's face drained of color, but his eyes burned with fury. "I just heard my daughter." The team followed as he sprinted into the hall, his boots pounding like thunder. Each step seemed to stretch into eternity. He rounded the corner, his heart hammering against his chest, until the sound grew clearer, his daughter's muffled sobs, mixed with the cruel laughter of girls. Mark didn't wait. He slammed the bathroom door open with a force that rattled the hinges. The bullies froze, their phones dropped. There stood Sergeant Carter, clad in black tactical gear, a bulletproof vest strapped to his chest, his face a storm. Behind him, 5 fully armed SWAT officers filled the doorway like an unmovable wall of steel. Emily's tear-streaked face turned toward him. "Dad," she whispered, trembling. Mark's chest tightened. Rage and heartbreak twisted inside him as he saw the fear in her eyes. "Step away from her," he growled, his voice like ice. The bully stumbled back, pale and wide-eyed. "We didn't mean," Amber stuttered, but her excuse died on her lips under his glare. One of the officers stepped forward. "Sir, do you want us to?" "No," Mark cut him off, his voice calm but deadly. "I've got this." He crossed the bathroom in 3 long strides and wrapped his arm around Emily, pulling her close. She clung to him, burying her face into his vest as if it were the only safe place in the world. Then he turned to the girls. "Listen carefully," he said, his tone controlled but his words slicing sharper than any weapon. "You thought no one would hear her cries. You thought you could humiliate someone weaker than you. But you forgot one thing: this is my daughter. And she is not weak. She has more courage in her than you will ever understand." The girls stood frozen, shame burning on their faces. Mark continued, his voice echoing in the tiled room. "You see these men behind me. They train every day to protect the innocent, to stand between good and evil. And if you think being cruel makes you strong, you're wrong. Strength is standing up for those who can't. Strength is love. Strength is courage." Emily's breathing slowed as her father's words washed over her. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel invisible. She felt seen, protected. The principal was called and the bullies were escorted out, their heads hung low. Phones confiscated. disciplinary action swift and final. But for Emily, the real moment of change came later, when the hallways buzzed with whispers, not about her humiliation, but about the father who stormed in like a guardian angel in tactical gear. That night, Emily sat at the kitchen table, still shaken but quieter, calmer. Mark placed his hand over hers. "Em," he said softly, "I know today was terrifying, but I want you to remember something. You are not alone. You never will be. You don't need a SWAT team behind you to be strong. You already are." Tears slid down her cheeks, but this time they were different. She managed a smile. "I love you, Dad." "I love you more," he whispered, pulling her into a hug. From that day on, Emily walked the school halls with her head a little higher. Not because the bullies were gone, but because she finally understood. Courage didn't mean never being afraid. Courage meant knowing someone believed in you enough to fight for you. And when you know that kind of love, you carry it with you no matter where you go. The message was clear. True strength is not found in cruelty, but in protection, in love, and in the unbreakable bond between a father and his daughter.